Do you have an opener?
Piss out my balls. No, I don't. Funnily enough, piss is not stored in the balls. So, that's
Yeah.
for.
It's in the bladder.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
it
ready?
is. I guess so. What are you going to open with?
I don't have one.
Let's just roll it, dude. It's just like, this is.
It's that time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
That's as good as opener as any right there, buddy. Because some days it's just like, I don't know, man. It's 264. If anybody needs a reminder of how many episodes they've wasted their life on, 264 of them.
So at an average, do this math.
Okay.
At an average of, let's take the average episode is probably around 65 minutes.
I'd say so, yeah.
You could do generous and be 60 because
Okay.
we've had some
I gotta
long
get my
ones.
calculator out, so I can't do that.
The past couple of weeks have been closer to under an hour.
Yeah.
So multiply that out. Just do 60 times 264.
Okay.
What is that?
17,160 minutes. Divide that by 60. It's 286 hours. Damn, dude, look at us. Look at us.
286 hours of content. And
You're
that's
welcome.
give or take probably 10 because, there's Spaghetti Bowl. It's like over 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's
But
obviously outliers. There's like, we don't have the statistics, right?
there's times when we get like guests on here and they're like way close to 2 hours. And it's
Sometimes
just like,
we had really good guests, man. We need to get a guest on here.
it's been a while. I'm working on some things. So
Hey, it's cool. I mean, it's not like I say it like, oh, you need to get on this. Like I have done nothing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Isolate
did ask
that.
Mark. I did ask Mark if he wanted to be on it again, but
Mark
he said,
who?
Mark Dudlick. He does streaming
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. He's a cool guy.
He doesn't want to hang with a bunch of jabrones, dude.
I mean, that's fair. I did tell him that we're on YouTube now, and he said he was gonna watch it, but I don't know if he did or not. But it's okay if he didn't. But
You know what I really want him to do?
what's that?
Buy my comic book.
I mean, okay. Well, I feel like you want everybody to do that though, because it's. I mean,
Yeah.
naturally, I guess. So it's
Yeah.
that one. Is it that one in the top left-hand corner of here? That one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Subtle plugs. We're really good at this, but man,
How are you feeling? I know that you were having a bit of an emotional swing. We played Hunt. It was a good sesh, good
Yeah,
lunch
man.
sesh.
this was a really good sesh.
We had 3 games. We played 4. 3 of
Mhm.
them went really well. And then 2 hours later, you're just like, I'm goddamn mad.
I was just in a
got
bad
headache."
mood. I was like, so with my meds, if I've noticed that if it's happened several times when I'm brushing my teeth. It's happened several times. Like it's like anytime that I do anything like look up or down with my neck, because I'm brushing my teeth, and like all of a sudden I'll just start getting a raging headache, and I don't know what's
Okay.
causing it. I think it is my meds. I just don't know what action is causing it. But I got a raging headache right at probably like a little hour after we started playing. After we played, and I don't know, dude. I just like was mad for no reason. Like Shelby was in a meeting. The guy's voice was annoying me, right? I was just like, I want you to go off mute and tell this guy he's a piece of shit. Like, but obviously I didn't. She didn't. She wouldn't do that. But
So you're like, I'm starting to rub off on you.
maybe. But it was just like, dude, I don't know. And I just was annoyed at every little thing. I don't know if you know this, World of Warcraft. It's coming out with a new expansion. I've
heard.
They did pre-patch and broke a ton of shit. So we were not having a good time when we were playing today. So I was just mad. So then I just went outside and cleaned the car. So
You want to clean your car?
took a little nap, and I feel better
I
now.
do that sometimes. I'll clean the house. I just have like a weird OCD. I've talked about it. I know that dust is in my house. Dust is everywhere. You can never just
Yeah, it's got to
undust.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't undust your house. Like it's impossible.
It's like energy. It's created. It can't be created nor destroyed. It just exists
Yeah,
in different
it just
areas.
exists, and it's all about channeling. And anytime I see dust, like if I see it,
Oh man.
it just triggers something in my monkey brain, and it's like you need to clean.
Yeah.
And like I don't hyperfixate on it. It's just like I have to clean this. I have to dust. I got to, you know, get the Swiffer out and
Dude,
just
see,
do all.
that's where we're the same because I am not with dust though. Like we're the same in the sense that like if I smell something, if it doesn't smell right in the house,
Mhm.
can't do
Well,
it. Like I have to figure out what the smell is,
I
and
do.
I
Yeah.
had that like I had a week straight where like there was something that smelled bad. I thought that one of the kids had thrown like a piece of fruit or like dropped a milk container behind something, and I was
Somebody
just
shit
somebody shit
themselves.
themselves, hit it in the corner because kids do that. I don't know why. And I was just like
Do they?
irritated. I've heard that kids do that. But I think that that's more so like if they're being abused and whatnot. I don't want to bring it down or okay, but it's a whole thing. Anyways, I was smelling something bad, and I spent the entire week just cleaning everything I could. Could not get the smell to go away. And then I realized it was like the dog food that we've been using, and Shelby mixes it with like some chicken broth. I fucking hate it. It stinks. It stinks.
I I have an aversion to fish smells. I don't. I mean, I don't eat fish. I don't like seafood anymore. And I know that like fish oil is like really good for you. But I know that let me rephrase that. And a little asterisk to the I know part. I know that if you take the fish oils, like if they like excrete from your skin and like you can smell fishy or whatever. Supposedly, I don't know.
It's
But
like eating
now that
carrots turns your skin orange. Sounds like
again,
it's like,
I said there's an asterisk there. I
yeah.
do know that with dogs, um, like this, if you feed them
Is it
like
garlic?
a high protein like dog food that has fish or fish oil or salmon or trout or whatever, that they start to smell fishy, and like I hate it. So and the thing is like the dogs love. They don't like the chicken and rice that we get anymore. They just like pick at it. It's
The
just like
salmon. Is it like salmon or
like
whatever?
so then there's a salmon and there's like a I don't know, it's salmon and something, and there's another one that's like whitefish and something. Well, I won't buy them. I can't buy them. They gobble them up, but like it just stinks the whole downstairs for
Yeah,
like,
man.
and I can't, and I already have like a really sensitive nose, and I cannot handle it. But like the dog food that we buy, it's there's only like five flavors, so I've eliminated three. So it's like a rotation between like pork and applesauce
Is it turkey?
and duck
Nice.
and something.
Hey, low key, controversial opinion. They do kind of make the dog food sound appealing. Like it's like like salmon and like duck, and I'm like, damn, dude, I don't even think that good. I don't even think that
Well,
good. So
you know, there's a whole debate that you can have about dog food, and it's like, well, they eat shit, so like you can just feed them whatever. Like they eat literal shit. They can just feed.
okay,
Okay, okay,
yeah,
yes,
technically,
but
yeah.
stuff like Bill Jack and even pedigree to an extent. Like I took a bunch of dog nutrition classes when I worked at Petco because it's
Mhm.
part of my like dog training classes, and like they're fine. But there's like a lot of empty calories. Feeding your dog pedigree and stuff like that is like feeding your dog McDonald's every day. Like it'll do the job,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sustain them. It causes them to be overweight because it's high in fat, et cetera, et cetera. So now I care about my dogs more than you do, so I spend more on my dog food than you do.
Hey, I'm
Um,
just saying, man. I like I said, we don't eat that good, so they shouldn't eat that good. Okay, I'm not. Although Shelby does get those little cans of
but
like
what do you
super
mean by
cool.
that? I mean, okay, let's say you spend $60 on a bag of 28-pound bag of dog food.
It's
Extrapolate
so
that into
much,
like
dude.
serving. It's
Jesus Christ.
not. It's
I have
not.
two dogs that are like they eat like a pound of
I
food
have
a
two
day.
dogs. My dogs are bigger than your dogs.
The thing I don't understand is like Louise
Do
has
you feed your
lost weight.
dogs?
Congrats, Louise. She's lost a lot of weight, but like
Do,
Abaddon just keeps gaining weight, and I think it's because he keeps
do,
eating Louise's food. So
well, yeah, you have to separate them. Do you feed your dogs twice a day, or are your dogs like grazers where you can just leave the food out? The cats,
Shelby and I feed him twice a day. It's mainly Shelby because I forget, but Shelby feeds him twice a day.
because you don't like your dogs.
I love my dogs. I just
You
they
have a
don't
weird
they
way of
get
showing
on
it.
they they get on my nerves. I get on their nerves. It's a love hate relationship.
Well, is it because one of the dogs wasn't originally yours?
No, that's not at all. It's fine. It's fine. She's adopted. It's whatever. But no, like Louise has
All
gotten
dogs are
Louise.
adopted, bro.
Louise has gotten really good. I love Louise now, but like Abaddon has just been pissing me off because he likes to wake me up at 1 o'clock in the morning because he likes to get up, he likes to get down, he likes to get up, he likes to get down, he like starts scratching.
Getting a taste of your own fucking medicine.
I sleep, you know.
I sleep.
I sleep.
Oh,
don't.
what
You
was
don't
the
hear
whole
me
point of that
kicking stuff
conversation?
around.
Anyways, but like fish, like so, like I understand
Yeah.
you're talking about dog food and stuff, and it's our dog food. We go to a local place, and so for every 12 bags, we get the next bag free. And I mean, whether that's a good deal or not, I don't know, but
I mean, they're
it's
conning you into buying 11 bags of dog food, so it's
12,
like
12 bags of dog food
oh, so but I thought you said it's so it's if
after
you
the
buy
12.
12, you get one. Okay, yeah, they're conning you to
But I
buy
mean,
like a.
but I'm gonna go there anyway. The dog food that I get, it's all part of the program from the supplier, not necessarily the store. It's
Does
the
it
people who.
last a whole month?
I have 2 dogs, Jacob.
Says it lasts a month.
Maybe.
I guess feed a 28 pounds of dog food. Do they eat
But
like
see, the
what,
thing
a
about
half
the
a
food
pound a
that
day?
but the whole point of that, this is like a totally boring conversation, but the whole point of that
Hey,
is
I'm
like,
having a good time.
I feed them less with the higher protein food because they fill up faster because they get more of the nutrients, even though yes, it's an expensive bag of dog food, but I don't have to feed them 2 cups of food where I can feed them a half a cup of food in the morning, half a cup at night, and they're getting more, if not the same amount of
I
food
get you saying.
as
Yeah.
it's all again, it's just like you eat chicken and rice at home and like a vegetable and like okay, like you feel filling, but like is it as good as a juicy cheeseburger out?
Damn, you're gonna make me
No,
hungry. Don't start talking
no,
about it. You know.
but like which is better for you, chicken and the rice? So
Yeah.
San Diego Comic-Con is this weekend,
Yeah.
I should say.
What is that?
What is that? It's like the biggest convention in North America, maybe
Yeah.
maybe the most uh public or publicized
Do they have
comic convention
comics
in the
there?
world. Not anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it more about the costumes and stuff now, and the
No,
like?
now it's become an entertainment expo at this point. It's, Marvel's there, DC's there, the comic companies are there, toy companies are there, movie companies, and it's just like, you do the whole thing. It's just like I mean, New York Comic Con is kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's just been overtaken by the industry, the Hollywood.
Cool.
So,
So it makes money. So
but like saying so, like you always had E3 that in June that you would get your gaming convention, new stuff, and the San Diego is, I guess, the equivalent to that, or it used to be. I mean, COVID sort of changed everything. Like, while the events are great and like it gives us something to look forward to, COVID pretty much proved that like it was unnecessary to have these big giant things, and it's great for the city of San Diego, sure, but other a lot of stuff now, people don't want their stuff to get lost in the news cycle or get lost in the zeitgeist shuffle. So like they'll like especially toy companies will go out there because it's a trade show,
yeah.
and so like most of the toy news, like new action figures and collectibles and stuff, like all this stuff's already been known. Like they have displays on the floor on like Monday and Tuesday when they're setting up, so it all gets leaked or announced or whatever. So then it's like, okay, so what the fuck, like none of the panels are ever shown on YouTube. Like they're never live streamed, so you find out hours later like what they're talking about, and so it's just, you know, it's fine, it's whatever.
Is there anything coming
I
out that you're like looking forward to? Is it
no,
like
fuck no.
when are we gonna get Polar Destroyer out there? Is the question. I think it's
Out where?
out in San Diego Comic Con. When are you gonna buy yourself a booth? Put yourself out there. How much is it? How much do you think it is for a booth at like San Diego Comic Con?
Or like a merchant?
Just for like you, like if you were wanting like a Polar Destroyer, Diego Comic
Probably
Con
$3,000-$4,000 a day
prices.
would be my guess.
Is it?
It's mostly
on.
sponsored stuff too, and it's mostly companies that buy booths. You'd have to. It's almost like invite only to be able to.
Okay.
Because if our local convention, our big local comic convention, is any indication, it was $700 for a weekend for a booth for a table. I can only imagine what like a real big city would charge.
Yeah,
So
I'm assuming that they don't. Okay, so it doesn't like
I don't think
look
it's
like they have
public.
any prices on
Yeah.
here. Yeah, it's
Well, I
like
don't think that, again, like I don't. I would. It would be a publisher would have to pick up the comic, and use the booth and that as like the advertising marketing
So
like
like,
space
not only do you have to buy a table, but you also have to buy a badge that lets you access your table. Is
to
what
get in
it,
on the floor.
yeah, it feels weird. Like if
Well, I
I'm
mean,
purchasing a table at the Comic Con, it feels like I
I mean,
should.
you would probably have a vendor badge. I don't think you would have to buy a badge to get in to sell stuff, but I don't think that New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con is open to like Joe Schmo going in. I don't know that, but
But anyways, I mean, it'd be cool. I don't know.
I mean it's
I
this
would
week.
like
I
to.
mean we'll probably get like I mean I think D23 or whatever Disney's bullshits in a couple of weeks, so I don't expect a ton of like MCU stuff. I don't give a fuck either way. But I'm sure there will be some Marvel stuff, some Disney stuff, some DC stuff. We will get some probably comics announcements or whatever, but some of that stuff's already leaked anyways.
That's a, man.
Um,
I understand leaks in the sense that like you want the shit out there. It's but to me it's just kind of like you're ruining the vibes. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I mean, yeah, but you can't stop it,
True, but like we get
especially in the
it's
age of the
like
internet.
you got to be the change you want to see in the world. So like people out there
Okay,
need to stop with the
but
leaks.
but being the person who discovers the leak, you get that 10-second endorphin hit of
But like
fame.
that's
Oh,
but that I don't I
it's all. It
can't.
doesn't matter. It
Okay,
doesn't matter.
okay. I can think of two leakers in the history of leaking. That makes me laugh. In the history of leaking that I can remember
Isolate
their
that.
names, and that is Julian Assange, who is notoriously a piece of shit, and Edward Snowden, who was like, I don't think he's a piece of shit. I think he was more so had America's best interest in mind, but then it put a lot of people in jeopardy as well as like exposed a lot of programs, but also shed a huge light on how America spies on its own people and basically like does a lot of shady things to get that permission to spy on its own people. It's kind of crazy, but those are the only two leakers in history that I ever like that I can think of, and that's because they leaked confidential information and were extra. They were basically what is that word, like excommunicated? They had to
Mhm.
run away. I think
Yeah.
Edward Snowden is like still hanging out in Russia, and I don't know if he's in jail or not. But like, but then I think Julian Assange, hey, shouts out, he's coming back home, baby. He's going to jail.
Yeah, but
I
those two
think
things are
finally.
apples to oranges. It's like, okay, like someone leaks, someone hacks a bunch of stuff from Insomniac and shows off like a pre-alpha build of Wolverine. It does a lot of damage, because people are easily influenced and like, oh, this looks like shit, and it's like this
Yeah,
game's not even an alpha, and like you're also, I mean, it does suck. Leaks do suck. Like I'm not defending it whatsoever, but like you're also, it's hard to stop, man. Like it's just in the current
I
climate,
say
man,
the
it's just
people who
hard.
leak. I think the way to
But also,
stop it
is it
is
okay? But is it a leak if like somebody is help setting up a booth and they just fucking snap a few pics and like, oh look, here's the Mayfex booth of all
yeah.
the action figures. You're gonna find out in 2 days
Okay,
anyways.
then wait that 2 days. It's one of those things where it's like you don't, as like a society, we need to get away
Okay,
from this idea of like, oh, I've got to be the first person to post about this. I got to be the first. I got to put these out there first because it's just like
is it?
nobody's gonna care or remember who you are within 20
Sure,
minutes of seeing that post. They don't.
sure,
They're gonna take that post. They're gonna post it on their place, and like it's like you get no credit whatsoever. In fact, we should publicly shame anybody who's leaking stuff. I think that's how we end it. You know.
but in the terms of like Mayfex, because like stuff happens too where a game will get leaked because a retailer will put it up for pre-order even though it's not been announced, and then like you force the hand, they're like, oh, we'll go ahead and announce it. Like you
Yeah,
see
because they
leaks
fucked up and
happen
put the displays out like like on accident. They're like, oh
yeah, it
shit, some
happens all the
GameStop
time,
employee.
especially
Yeah,
around like the game show, the game awards and the Gamescom or
that happened to.
whatever.
I want to say that happened to Shelby once. She was like out and about, and I think it was it was probably for a book if I'm not mistaken. And she was out and about, and she saw it like on a display at Target, and she was like, I don't think that's fucking supposed to be out yet. And I think she snagged a copy of it. I want to say it was one of like a Sarah J. Moss book or some shit like that. I don't know, but yeah, shit happens all the time.
This will bring me to another point of like leaks, and not leaks, but like street dates and stuff. But if and let's just go back with the action figure stuff. Okay, so like McFarlane or Mayfex or whatever company, they have their display. Someone takes a bunch of pictures on a Monday or on a Tuesday, and like the community, the action figure community is talking about it. Okay, that's great. That's dope. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Is that worse than it being presented on a Friday, getting lost in the shuffle of all the other stuff that happens, and no one talks about it?
I guess theoretically speaking, yeah, it would be better that it's talked about and seen,
Right.
right?
It's
But
it's better that it's on your mind that, oh, okay, Mayfex is gonna have this and this figure coming out, whatever or whatever, blah blah
I
blah.
mean, we know that there are
As
strategic leaks. Obviously, like there's people like the leaks, quote unquote, come from like the call comes from
but
inside the
like
house. But
what I'm saying is, if there is somebody on the convention floor that's helped setting up, unless you have like a strict no phone policy, which is also hard to mandate, yeah,
yeah,
it's hard to do, man.
it's like the Game of Thrones, right? You remember when Game of Thrones was popular back in the day when everybody was like trying to
No,
figure out
never heard of it. What's that?
and they were like they literally had to like shut down flight paths over top of where they were shooting the like I guess the final scenes or whatever. Like it's insane. Like I don't know where I was going at that point, but it's just like we need that level of security. But then it's like that costs money. I feel like obviously.
How do
So
you feel? I mean, as street dates, right? Like,
what is
okay,
what is
so like games, like especially when I worked at GameStop. When I worked at GameStop, most games came out on a Tuesday, and
mhm.
we would have midnight releases on Monday night. And over the course, and like it's so weird, like movies, like DVDs, Blu-rays, like albums, CDs, music, games, they all came out on a Tuesday. New movies in the theater typically came out on a Friday. Now, that is in the US. International, almost everything came out on Friday. Now, everything has sort of moved to where like new music, movies, games, like almost everything is on a Friday. It's like most common payday, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm.
Anyways, there was a big no-no when I worked at GameStop, and I'm sure that anyone that worked in retail, Best Buy, Target, whatever, it's a big no-no that you don't sell things before their allotted street date. And it's like that stuff sets in the back for weeks, oftentimes months.
God, it's
There
gotta
are
be tough.
toys,
It's gotta be
there are
so tough.
toys setting at Target right now that are street dated for October 1st.
Man,
Do you
it's
know how
gotta
much
be
freight come? Do you know how
tough.
much freight comes in on a weekly basis to Target?
I would
It's a
assume a
bad
lot.
strategy. You know, it's a bad strategy because that shit gets like pushed to the back. And I think that like Target has done this whole like initiative because like if you go to Target, their toy aisles are barren as fuck and they are never updated. Like the actual toy
Yeah.
aisles, not the stuff that's in the video game section or
No,
whatever.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that's
And
what.
it's and
Yeah, it's
it's
been
it's
happening
because
quite a bit.
and you know Nate used to work there and he can attest to this, but like stuff just gets pushed to the side and no one ever works that freight because it's like, okay, well, let's sit here, whatever. And you got to work on the stuff that's supposed to go out, the things that are important, the seasonal, whatever. So again, it's like, is it better that you sell it early or is it better that you don't fucking sell it at all?
Yeah, man, I don't know.
So,
It's got to be also tough, like to like for the people working there, be like, God damn, that tool looks awesome as shit. I want to buy that, but I
well, I
can't.
mean, there's
You know?
that, but I mean, is it, it's a whole thing because my comic shop gets stuff the weekend before. He's closed on Mondays. He's closed on Sundays. Mail for most comic shops will run on Monday. They'll get their weekly delivery, their Tuesday, Wednesday stuff on Monday.
Hmm.
Gives them time to sort it, whatever. There's oftentimes I get stuff on Saturday. I mean, but like, does it matter?
I
No.
think as long as you're not flaunting and being like, look what I got, like you're not, and it's the cool thing is like
There
you're
have
not
been
leaking it.
times,
You're
listen,
not.
there have been times where I may have posted on social media, especially with Jed's stuff. We're like, hey, look what I got. But like, I don't post
You're
spoilers. I
not.
don't
You're
even.
not posting like page after page of
I just show.
of the
It's like, look,
comic.
hey, I got
Like
these covers because it's like, yeah, there is that like weird vindication of like, hey, I got this early.
you're just like,
You
sup
know.
guys, thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. Here's the full comic book coming out to you on Wednesday, and he's like scrolling through the page, just reading it to the audience. That'd be hilarious. But
But you would get like fired at GameStop if you sold shit before street dates. Like there's a whole again corporate like thing in the background of like, well, you can't do this, you can't do that because like but the system at GameStop would tell you if something was street dated. But like these mom and pop shops, like you could sell it on street dates and it wouldn't matter. It all depends on what the system you use, but um I don't know. People get real all bent out of shape about it, but I don't know. I feel like if you have it, you can sell it. Like if you've already paid for the product as a merchant, and you have it and you can sell it a couple days early, why fuck wouldn't you?
I tell you what, you send me the product, it's your own
You're
fault
gonna
at that
sell it.
point. Like, yeah, it's your own fault at that point. Like, hey, I
Like
got it.
why don't it's
You
like
know,
again, it's like I've already paid you for this stack of comics and I've got to sit on it for 4 or 5 days when I can just sell it now and make money.
yeah, yeah.
It's dumb. It's
I mean, I don't
dumb.
know,
I
man.
don't.
Because then what happens whenever they send the Pinkertons after you, right? Remember that whole scandal?
Yeah.
They got some guy. That's the thing too. Is like that.
Are they going to send the Pinkertons after you because you sold a Spider-Man issue 63?
I mean, if the Magic the Gathering, the gaming company, like what is it, West Coast Wizards of West Coast or what the hell it's called,
Yeah.
if they were willing to send it over like a pack of cards, like yeah, I think that they would. So
I mean,
damn,
maybe, but
is it West Coast Wizards? Because that sounds dope as shit, honestly.
w-
That's like damn. I mean, like,
Wizards of the West Coast. I'm pretty
okay,
sure, right?
I'm not. I'm. Is it?
WWC, right?
I think so, something like that. But all I pictured is like Exhibit from like Pimp My Ride. And he's like part of the West Coast Wizards, and they're like, "Hey guys, we're here again. We're pimping this guy's broom out or some shit like that." And it's like, God, that'd be so fucking
That
funny,
would be.
honestly.
Would that work better? Would the West Coast Wizards work better as like a? It'd have to be like an '80s like wrestling tag team because they're really leaning into the cheese in the '80s and '90s era of
Yeah,
wrestling.
honestly, yeah.
Or it would it be more of a modern day like let's say if Skyrim took place in like the modern day and
Dude, give me a Skyrim taking place in like modern day America, or not even modern. Like, how about like
just
'90s America, right? Where it's like, you know, it's kind of like Vice City almost, where like people like really grungy, but like it's all magic. He's like there's the Dovahkiin, right? He's trying to figure out where he's got to go to get the dragon's breath or whatever. You know, it's God, but he's like
but
got to go
he's
to Manhattan or something like that. I don't know. It'd be so hilarious, dude.
that
Give
would
me
be
that
really cool.
mod for sure.
Like that concept could work. Open world RPG, modern day, with like the same sort of lore as like Elder Scrolls, but it's doesn't take place in fantasy.
God, yeah,
It's in
it's just
modern day society. Yeah, man, you gotta go see the West Coast Wizards. They're running this
they are. Yeah,
arcane. They're running the arcane factory or
it's the
whatever.
college. It's the college of what is it? Like Winterhold or whatever, Winterhold
Mhm.
College or whatever. It's like that, but they're called West Coast Wizards now. Like I
Or it's like
picture.
an actual universities, actual students.
Yeah. I picture West Coast Wizards being like one of those basketball games where it's like you play trios or whatever, and like
Yeah.
one of the teams is the
Yeah,
West
that is
Coast
definitely a
Wizards.
street ball team,
Street
like a
ball,
street
there we go.
ball.
I
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to be obsessed with like street ball games for some reason. Back when I was like
Why?
a teenager, I don't know, man. There was something fun about them.
I loved slam ball, man.
The slam ball was a dope. So at one of the jump parks they have here, they have like a little basketball goal with a trampoline underneath it. I didn't realize how hard / scary it was to jump on like a 10-foot goal. Like
Hmm.
that's kind of actually terrifying. So, but I don't know how they did it. They
There's
bounced
another
around.
one. So there's two of them. There's one that has like we'll say full court, and it's more of an actual thing where the one you're talking about is just a goal
Yeah,
and you just jump. So, but it's
I'm
still
so terrified like of rolling my ankle like playing regular basketball.
rolling your ankle or shattering your ankle.
Shattering my ankle, rolling my ankle, all of it, dude. I have weak ankles, so it's like yeah,
That's from carrying all those massive nuts, bro.
yeah, man. That's I tell you, it's a job. But like I would be terrified to play basketball on one of those things and like some guy go up and snap. You know, just oh god, so
Um,
gross.
Speaking of snapping, are you gonna go? Are you gonna watch Wolverine and Deadpool this
I
weekend?
think we actually are.
Are you really?
I think me and Shell are gonna let her mother watch the kids, and then we're gonna actually go out and go to the movies. So, do you want to go with us? Putting you on the spot, you know.
Can't.
It's fine. It's whatever, dude.
I'm busy this weekend.
It just feels
Daughter's,
good that
da-
you have to say no to something that I'm inviting you to for once, and it's not me saying no. So it feels good, you know.
I'm not afraid to say no though.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. It's whatever.
You bullshit. You have a problem with commitment.
Yeah.
I I have two birthday parties this weekend.
Oh
One's
shit!
my
Yeah,
daughter.
we got another we
One's
got a
my
birthday party
daughter's.
to go to this weekend. So we got a busy
Yeah.
weekend actually. So
Are you on Saturday?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the only time we
I
really got to
just
go.
don't. I'm pretty sure we talked about it when the trailer came out. All right,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna fucking harp on it. From the first trailer, I have felt that the movie is going to be so heavy-handed on cameos, and it's gonna be neat and it's gonna be fun. Be like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, there's such and such, and there's such and such. But like, I feel like it's gonna be just a hollow movie,
It's
and
gonna get very
that's
old
the way
very
it's the
quickly.
way I felt
Yeah.
about No Way Home. I'm like, take out the cameos, and like, it's not much of a movie.
Now I will
Like, that's
say, No
fine.
Way
I'm not
Home.
saying I'm not expecting fucking Shakespeare in this. I don't. I want more things like Logan and less things like anything involved in the MCU. I
Yeah.
did not like the second Deadpool movie. The first one is very good because of the low budget, like intimate nature of kind of grungy dirtiness of it, and it felt different at the time. But I'm also just so incredibly tired of the oversaturation of Deadpool. Like I'm
And
just
I think that
Harley Quinn's the same way, bro. Like I just
they lean too hard into break. And I get that it's part of like Deadpool's whole shtick is that he breaks the fourth wall and like he's always talking to the reader or whatever. But it's like I look at the trailer and everything like that. It does feel like they lean way too heavy on Ryan Reynolds being funny and Deadpool being like breaking the fourth wall and talking. Oh, look, another cameo! Like it's gonna point out every single one. And I just hope, I do hope that it doesn't get boring. I'm excited just because I don't know. It seems fun, but who's to
I hope
say?
it's good. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
But my thing is like on top of if I really wanted to go see it, I could probably squeeze in some time on Friday. But I am so busy. And like one of the things that's not talked about as much when you have children of our age, is
Hmm.
how many fucking kids' birthday parties you have to go to, especially during the summer, dude.
Because like
Like
they're
we've
all around the same age. It's gross, Quit having
since they got
kids.
out of, well, here's the thing, since they got out of school, this will be, if you include this weekend, both of them, I think that's 8.
Hmm.
Okay. And then so we have that whole thing to deal this weekend. My daughter's birthday is next week. We have her birthday gift is the following week, and then they're in school. School starts.
Nice. It's gonna be
So
nice.
like,
Low key. It's gonna be so sick.
but I'm just saying, it's like I don't have time.
Yeah.
I literally, there's like not a chance for the next 2 weekends to go, and I think I'm pretty sure we have company the weekend after that.
I mean, and by then it's gonna be out on DVD. So
And like, well, it's MCU, so it might get, but I want it to be good. I like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's charming as fuck. I like Wolverine. But I don't know, man. I am very much a person though that I can, once I sever a cancer, I I have no interest in getting reacclimated with it, and that's how
I
I
am
feel
glad
about
they
the
went rated
MCU.
R with it. That's about like it's.
Yeah, but the
I'm gonna take my
second one, the second one was rated R and it wasn't any good. So
I'm gonna take my bingo card though, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have they're gonna have shit. They're gonna have Rob somewhere.
you won't even know how. Well, we already know it's not a bingo card. It's already
Rob's
confirmed.
gonna
He's
be
in
in
there.
there somewhere.
It's confirmed. So
Wrexham's gonna be in there somewhere. They're gonna put the soccer team in there somewhere. They're gonna have its
mm,
vodka in there. They're gonna have Mint Mobile at least somewhere in there. They're gonna have all these things, and I know it. I think that
you're not even gonna know who half the cameos are.
Daniel Radcliffe, he's gonna be somewhere. I think he was
Harry Potter.
confirmed. Probably gonna be like he's gonna be Beast, but in Harry Potter world. I don't know, some kind of cameo. I don't know. It deals with the multiverse, so they're gonna make it work. But
That's another thing. I was talking to a friend today. I am so beyond tired of multiverse and timelines that if there's even a sniff, I'm out. I'm out because it's lazy, it's overdone, it's there's no risk, and it's just I'm done. I'm done with people not being able to tell a fucking coherent story and living with the choices that they make as a story. I'm just done.
yeah, I mean, I feel that. I do think that
And
there
like
is kind of
you
like
know, you're gonna get
both
people who.
universes have a huge multiverse thing going on right now. Like it's like
What do you mean?
like it's isn't yeah, DC, like the Flash, they're always doing like some sort of multiverse bullshit.
DC, Invincible,
Yeah, I guess it is.
the
Everybody's
MCU,
doing.
Marvel Comics,
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat, like all of them.
yeah.
And it's just like it's just a way to get around creating a meaningful narrative.
Hell,
Um,
Fortnite has a multiverse.
It's just I'm just over it, man. Like I'm over it, and like you can argue to the fucking moon cries or whatever that stupid saying is about. Well, you want it to be more like comics. Burp, burp, burp. Yeah, again, apples to oranges here. The movies don't have the benefit that comics do.
Where they
There's
can, yeah, they can
there's
have, yeah,
60 fucking titles a month in comics.
there's like millions of storylines going on. So
Right. It's not the same thing, and you just don't get the sort of same leeway. Speaking of something else that I'm not really interested in going to watch that starts this week, the Olympics.
oh yeah, you excited about them?
Not at all.
Man,
Don't care.
I'm can't wait for some curling. Honestly, let's bring curling.
Carolyn. Carolyn.
Curling, get some curling done.
I know that Zoe's gonna watch some. She's doing gymnastics, so she's probably gonna watch some of the gymnasts and stuff.
And what's her name? What's her name's gonna be back this year? Oh shit, the really
Simone
good one.
Biles.
Simone Biles, she's back. She's feeling good. She got better help or some shit.
I
She's
didn't know
good to
she
go.
left. Did she leave?
Do you remember the last 4 years ago?
Nope.
She got a lot of flack because mainly from white males in the shocker, I know, but
Hearsay.
she bowed out because like she just couldn't fucking handle it. Like people were like putting her too high on a pedestal, and to save her mental health, big shouts out to her for doing it. Very brave. She backed out because she knew that she was not in the place to win this thing. She got a lot of fucking flack from those beta cucks.
I do remember that. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, she can't win, so she's not going to participate. And it's like, yeah, if you
I mean,
you
not just
ain't
that.
if you're not
It's one of
trying to
those
win,
things,
don't
yeah.
play, right?
It was more so like a bigger move on her part that like she.
Was this 2022? It was Winter Olympics, right?
No, this was last Olympics. This was 4 years ago.
Been 3 years ago because it got postponed for COVID.
Whatever the fuck it was, but she was not in it. She
Semantics,
bowed out.
2021, right?
Yeah, so she's come, but she's back. I heard her on NPR. She's ready to go. She's fucking fired up. She's gonna crush
Ooh,
this
you listen
shit.
to NPR?
Dude,
Ooh,
I
that's
fucking it's
biased, fucking left wing liberal nonsense.
That's what I hear, dude. No, I love NPR. It's keeps me as bored as I need to be. You know.
In the know. You remember? Let me blow some more blueberries, raspberries, whatever they're called. Year ago when we were talking about the orcas that were like communicating and attacking boats.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, in an adjacent type of story, about 2 days ago, off the coast of New Hampshire, a whale slams into a fishing boat, hurling men into the Atlantic. There's video if you'd like
And
to
then
see
she
it. I'm sure
gobbles them up. You know.
So the video is pretty crazy. And like, dude, this is where I think there's a fucking disconnect in society, right? I'm gonna get on my old man soapbox here. Okay. I know that it's cool to be in a boat and watch this giant humpback whale absolutely fucking annihilate this boat.
It is,
Like,
yeah, okay, that holy shit. Like it was like for no reason to it. Like it looked like it literally was like, fuck this boat, dude.
100%. And that's cool. But why wouldn't you get the fuck out and go? Like book it to the shore, my guy. Like
That's
why
like
are
that's
you
your sign
because
from Mother Nature to be like,
because if
not
it
today.
destroyed that boat, do you think it's stopping at one?
yeah,
And this is a
it feels so weird because it like I'm watching the video like over and over again, and it looks like it's just like, fuck this guy, and it just jumps
Dude.
up and it crushes his boat. Like it doesn't like look like it does a whole lot of damage. It's more so just like I'm kind of hungry, and these guys look really good, and knock him into the water.
The Coast Guard says it's been an emotional day, describing a whale attack, and it's like, okay, but again, like why? Because they're out in the water. Like it's not like they're just off a dock here. Like this motherfucking whale is out there.
Orcas, dude,
They're
they
out there.
fucking, they're like, hey, this is it. Because from what I have, there's been some updates to like what the orcas are doing, and apparently, it's a game that they're playing, and so there's this whole
they just
other
think it's funny
zeitgeist
as
that's
shit.
opened up. Like, yeah, so apparently, like orcas go through phases where they will
Wreak havoc.
they're like humans in the sense that like like Twitter trends, like people like hashtag whatever.
Yeah, I know those things.
They do that, but with like different shit that they do. And apparently, like this boat capsizing trend where they destroy like yachts and shit like that. Like apparently, it's just a trend that the younger orcas are doing.
They just do it for the shits and
And they're
gigs.
just literally doing it for the shits and giggles. Like there's not like unfortunately, it's not an orca army that is raising up, and King Orca is not going to come out of the water.
Now, How do they confirm that? Did they fucking talk to King Orca and be like,
Uh,
"Yo, bro, what's up?" And he's just like, "Bleep, blop, bloop, 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 bloop,
now
bloop," and they translated it.
there are smarter people than I. There's probably some scientific studies out, but from what I understand, it's like they've been
Cite your
doing.
sources.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Were
honest.
they? Were you there when they created the alphabet for Orca speak?
I'm gonna be honest. I was not, and this is all hearsay. But from what I understand is that
Flabbergaster.
from what I understand is like scientists have been studying orcas for a while, and they've noticed like when they do these trends. Like I think there was one where one orca started wearing like a dead fish on its head somehow. I don't know how, and it was like the other orcas started wearing shit on their heads, and so it's like trends like that. And
So
so
they're
apparently,
trendsetters.
yeah, and apparently like, this is like one of those trends where like that one big orca that that's been part of a lot of these capsizings or whatever and damage. She was just like, hey, fucking, you guys should try this. It's pretty funny. Honestly, these people
It's
freak the fuck out when you start attacking their boat, and it's hilarious
they're like,
every time. Because if I'm an orca, I'm fucking with everybody, dude. For no for
oh,
for
dude.
shits and giggles.
Well, again, you're in my home.
And
You're in my house.
apparently there has not been a single human killed by an orca. I'm gonna fact check that real quick because I heard that and I
Well,
didn't
were
fact
you
check it,
there?
but
Were you there when they were attacked?
orcas
Unless you were
killed.
there when they signed the Declaration of Independence, you can't
Okay, I do have
cite the
to.
Declaration of Independence as a factual document, Jacob.
Okay. There have been no
What is true?
documented cases of killer whales
Hmm.
attacking or killing a human being in the
Oh,
wild.
they're just trying to hide
In
that, bro.
the caveat is the in the wild part because as we know, the SeaWorld orca is not a fan of being in captivity and has maybe or may not have offed a few of its handlers.
It's propaganda, bro.
I know,
It's
man. I'm
not true.
sorry. I don't mean to spread propaganda, but hey,
Part of the part of the scary shit about the Earth, about is that 3/4 of it is covered in water. I think the latest percentage is like we've only explored 30 something percent of the ocean, and like that's scary. We're always finding these rare or like never before seen species from the fucking abyss,
hmm hmm
and like space is scary because and we talk about it all the time. What's more scary, the ocean or space? And they're both equally terrifying.
I think honestly, ocean.
I
Most
think
stuff's
the
alive in the
ocean wins it
ocean.
for me
Yeah.
too, because like I guess with space there's just the emptiness of it, where at any point in time in the ocean you are surrounded by
No, dude. I
creatures,
don't even
dude.
think about it. I'll
Oh,
throw
like
up. I'll throw up, man. I swear. Because I'm just thinking about
that.
like being swimming in the ocean, you're having a good time, and then all you see is like white
Eyes,
teeth, and you see
eyes.
the eyes, the pupils, they come out of nowhere, and you're
And it's
gone.
not even the sharks, it's the fucking like
Cthulhu fucking monsters down there. Yeah,
it's
because
the
there's like
anthropods and all those things with like 37,000 tentacles that like have no eyes or brain, and you
they
sever
just
them.
yeah they just eat. They just focus on eating and
And they just
surviving.
poison and kill, and it's just
Yeah.
like you just happen to be barefooted, and it's just like stepping on like
Nope. Nope. Can't do it, man.
again. I don't like I know I can be classified as an ocean snob, but it's because I want to see the bottom, bro. Like I don't want to be
Don't let me see it.
swimming in the murkiness and there just be like you know
I'm just thinking about if the lake was clear, dude, and you could see all the fucking giant ass. And I know that there's no like deadly fish in the lake except for like gar or barracudas and shit like that. But like, damn, dude, no thank you. And
Yeah.
spearfish, fuck that, dude. Motherfuckers can swim. They have fucking. That's you like a pig, dude.
these are all the things that we know about.
Yeah.
What's even more scary about the ocean is the
Dude.
microscopic bacteria that'll like crawl up into your pee pee hole and like infect you and kill you from within. Like again, like this.
That is like a massive fear that I've had my entire life. Okay, because I saw that one movie, whatever movie it was, they were pissing off of a boat in the river, and like those little crawdad things swimmed up in the guy's pee pee and ate him from the inside, and he died. And I'm pretty sure it was like some kind of offshoot anaconda style movie or some shit. But
What was that? I know what that is.
I don't think it was Alien versus. I don't think
Was
it was
it
like a
was it
Predator
Critter?
movie.
Was it
It
Critter?
might have been Critter or something like that. It was one. I was one of those like I feel like kind of like direct to movie kind of
Yeah.
DVDs, but that my dad used to love or whatever. But yeah, it was,
All that to say is that in the depths. Okay, now I know that you did a little bit more research than this. I sort of
It's
headline
fucking
read
so
and
cool.
sent it to
Yeah.
you. Okay, so the title is scientists have discovered dark oxygen being produced more than 13,000 feet below the ocean surface. I see the words dark oxygen. My brain automatically goes to, okay, so it's evil. So you're gonna see fucking evil Cthulhu rise up and start spewing his dark oxygen. It's gonna blot out the sun.
It's gonna
He's
take
gonna
our
take over.
oxygen. We're
It's
not
gonna
gonna be able
take
to breathe
yeah,
anymore.
that's the thing. It's like the dark oxygen is gonna overpower the good oxygen, and then like the superheroes are gonna have to save the planet and defeat the Cthulhu monster who's using the dark oxygen to take over our oxygen.
Okay. It's not that scary, and I
Dang.
think that they does sound like they need to do some rebranding because it's actually like a pretty cool thing. So they
Hmm.
found right 10 years ago they started this studying 10 years ago. Some wily coyote in the science field who studies oceans was like. I didn't get names or like the tools that they use, but he dropped a little thing that measures oxygen levels in the ocean, right? He dropped it down the bottom of the
Oxidometer.
ocean. Oxidometer, sure, we'll go with it. Really cool thing happened is like
We don't
you
fact check here.
scientists, people really, you think that like as the deeper you go in the ocean, the less oxygen there is, right? Because like the deeper you down, like the oxygen gets pushed up, bullshit, whatever.
Sure.
So he was like, yeah, so I'm going to toss this little thing down there. It's going to go into the bottom of the ocean. And we're going to see how much oxygen is actually down there. But as it started getting closer to the seafloor, more oxygen. Right, dude.
Whoa.
And it was like, so he was like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what that's weird. And so he brought it back out. He like started recalibrating it and shit. Tossed it back down there. Same thing happened. Lo and behold, they've done some studies over the past 10 years, and they've come to a conclusion that there are, the way they put it, potato-sized polymetallic nodules, right? Big
Okay.
words. Basically, they're metal rocks that are at the bottom of the ocean, and these rocks are getting electrically charged by the ocean itself through like some kind of process like oceanic electrolysis or some bullshit like that. Look it up for yourself, okay?
Sand moving back and forth.
Something of that nature. The salt, but basically it charges these rocks just enough that they can then take the salt water and break it into hydrogen and oxygen that then floats to the surface and gets released. And so they basically have figured out that before, like you and I, right? What did they teach us in school about where oxygen comes from?
Trees.
The fucking plants and the trees through photosynthesis. This flips that shit on its head, right? And says that like actually there's like now we have two different categories where we get our oxygen, and that might be from like giant bodies of these potato-sized polymetallic nodules, right? And as well as trees. So it's really fucking cool. I'm hyped
How
about
long
it.
before the rich and powerful start taking these and hoarding this dark energy?
Very quickly. They've already started talking because the whole reason that this story is becoming big is because they're trying to raise awareness so that way we can start talking about the effects of like drilling in the ocean and shit. Like we already have these issues of like oil spills and shit like that, but now it's like, hey, you could actually be destroying like a big chunk of our oxygen, and like we're already destroying the rainforest, right? We're getting rid of that. Get that shit out of here.
You
We
gotta
don't
build
need it.
hotels, bro. We need hotels.
Hotels. We don't need trees
We
anymore,
need
dude. We need
we need apartments.
pavements, you know? So
Listen, we all know that they're hiding an oxygen amplifier in Washington. We all know that, and they're
yeah,
pumping
man.
that shit out. We have a cloud seeder. We
We're
know
okay. Yeah.
we're
But
fine.
this
The,
also,
the the planet is not getting hotter. Okay, we're
I don't know
just
what
trying to
everybody's so
turn
worried
it.
about, you know?
We're just so listen. They're just trying to turn it all up so that way you can spend more money using your air condition, so that way you can pad the profits of
And
big energy.
and hey,
Come on.
let's think about the silver lining here, right? If it's hotter for longer, more summer break, right? You get to
Yeah, well, don't
relax
get too
more.
carried away.
Get
Kids
to
gotta
go
go to
to
school.
the pools, right? And we get to grow stuff more now. Like I think actually speak like real talk, our climate has changed so much that like we're now in like a different growing zone, right? So there's like these zones they put everywhere, and like you got like zone
Well,
A over
you
here.
do your
that
research,
can,
bro.
I mean, it's fair. I did actually look at the chart, and it's like pretty cool. But
But
like,
cite your
different.
sources.
Oh, news on the internets. I looked up
Who's to say that news is, there's no such thing as a body of truth?
NPR.org. I actually went to their website. They had a little graph. It's pretty cool.
Nope. Nope. NPR is biased.
Well, it's
They
publicly
have, they have an
funded.
agenda.
It's
They have an agenda, bro.
it's publicly funded by the people.
It's infuriating to like hear those kind of
Yeah.
remarks when
Yeah.
having conversations, when you're trying to like actually just have a conversation, and
Yeah.
morons are just moronic and ignorant.
Oh, it's really cool though. Sorry, one last thing on
No,
this.
no, you're
It's really
fine.
cool because it kind of flips the whole thinking of other planets as well. Because up until now, we kind of saw it as like, if there's not really, uh, I think it's like one of those things where like if they have oceanic life or water, it would be like the sign that there's life because stuff lives in water and there's oxygen, etc. But it's like now it's uh, kind of flipping it to where we're going to take a different look at planets that we see and kind of
Okay.
rethink how their atmospheres are. And they might be,
It
have
is
more
cool,
oxygen than we think.
but none of it's going to affect us in our lifetime.
Oh no, I mean this is for shit like way down the road, but I thought it was really neat.
And then like that's cool. It's whatever. There's been a lot of water talk, a lot of ocean talk here. But you're out on a boat. We watched Pirates of the Caribbean the other day, by the way, and Zoe roasted the shit out of Christina and I, like
Damn,
unknowingly.
that's right.
We're watching it, right? And it probably takes place in maybe the 1700s. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know. Whenever pirates were prevalent, around whenever Tortuga was a pirate haven. And she's watching it, and she's like, "This take place in the 90s when you were born."
Hmm. Hmm. You
Wow.
guys weren't alive for the pirates, right?
Like, how old do you think we are, child? But anyways, movie still holds up. It's real fun.
Dude, yeah, that's they do. I gotta watch that.
I I knew that there were at least four movies. I had no idea that there was one that came out in 2018.
I'm not. I don't lie. I didn't think
There
I
are
didn't.
five. There are five movies.
Oh shit! Good for them, I guess.
Yeah, and I think I have only seen. I know I've seen the first one like dozens of times. There's like Dead Man's Chest or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I could not name them all. If it's one of those like spaghetti bowl
Pirates of the
questions, can you?
Caribbean, baby.
I know there's one about like I want to say it's like at World's End or something, but maybe
There
not.
is
I
one
don't
where
know.
they go to the end of the world and it's flat, which is like kind of propaganda in itself, but whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the third one, and then I think the fourth one was just like so bad that I know that Blackbeard's in one of them. Anyways, we're talking about fucking movies 15 years ago. The whole point of that is that pirates are still real. Like the Somalia pirates, like all that shit's crazy. The Red Sea, like I just saw a video like a week ago of like a freight boat ship that was bringing stuff over on the Red Sea, and a fucking kamikaze boat was heading straight towards them to blow them up, so that the pirates could then. But like they shot, I guess a sniper like shot him, and like you just like you hear the gunshot, and then like he just like diverts off. Like it's still a thing.
I like the idea that like, oh, so they got guns? Okay, never mind. Actually, this is not the boat for us.
No, they
It's-
they shot him, and like they killed the suicide bomber. I guess
I
is
like
the
the
way it
idea that
went.
he just like was like, nope. Actually, I'm gonna call
Well,
it
it
a day
stopped.
today.
It's he just stops. He just stops.
It's like, yeah, sure.
Anyways, like let's say that you're a fisherman in say Sri Lanka,
Okay.
and you and your pals, you're out there, you're fishing,
They're
like that's your
palling
life's work.
around.
You're palling around, you're throwing some bait, doing all those things. You're just standing in the water, probably ankle deep. It's clear. You're just whatever, fly fishing. Let's say, and then there's a green bottle with liquid in it that floats up. You gonna pick it up and drink it? Of course you're not gonna fucking do that.
God, dude, I
Like,
just
why in the fuck would you do that?
even if
Well,
I
apparently,
thought that there was alcohol in it, right?
the only time that you would do that is if you are stranded on an
Yeah.
island.
Oh, absolutely. And even then, I would kind of
But
be weary. I'd kind of be like, I don't know,
but
should I
if you
boil this
did, you're
first?
gonna
Or
die because four Sri Lankan fishermen have died, and another two are critically ill after consuming an unknown liquid from bottles they found while at sea.
not just like they weren't like just at sea, like hanging out close to the shoreline. Apparently, they were like some 300 miles off the coast of Sri Lanka, right? Um,
320 nautical miles.
yeah, that's a lot of miles, dude. And they found these bottles and they thought there was liquor in them, and they were like, because even if I'm like, oh, cool, a random bottle of beer floating along here, not gonna drink it, buddy. Not gonna drink it. That's how you get tapeworms, first of all. But yeah, four have died. I think that they said. I think I saw an article that a fifth one had passed away. But it's like, fucking don't do that. That's,
Like
oh,
at all, dude. Did we not learn anything in human history?
I don't know, man.
Did not uncover the fucking buried box in the middle of the rainforest? Do
Yeah.
not dig up the
Don't
corpse.
don't
Do
open a
not
sarcophagus. If you
don't
happen to
don't
find your way into the pyramid, don't open a sarcophagus.
don't stop it. Stop releasing these diseases and these
Because
like
that's the thing, dude.
plagues.
This is some shit that happens where it's like some kind of bottle they bottled up thousands of years ago to stop like the plague of I don't know 23 BC, and they were like, okay, hopefully nobody gets this bottle and hopefully nobody opens and drinks it, because if they do, they'll be possessed and it'll cause widespread death and disaster. But they're like, no, 2024, baby, we see a floating bottle, we drink out of it.
I mean, that just seems like common sense.
This does sound like the opening to like a horror movie about like some kind of disease that's about to just like ravage the world. So,
Like, I'm so tired, bro.
and maybe that's where the new bird flu epidemic is coming from. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe this is like the start of it. I don't mean to be an alarm ringer, okay? But we got to talk about the fact that like we talked about COVID and made jokes about it. So I think it's only telling and fitting that we talk about bird flu epidemic that nobody cares about right now. That's like ravaging cattle apparently. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's been several cases that have jumped from cattle to human here recently. I do think that one of like the 60-year-old patients died. But it's
Where?
just fun
Where's this?
here in the U.S.
But like where?
cattle farms. That's about all I know.
Location. Like, are we
Okay,
talking West
let
Coast,
me
East Coast?
find
We
the
talking the
article.
Great Plains? We talking Pacific Northwest, South, Northeast? Where are we talking?
Hold on. I got the article here, dude. Okay, bird flu epidemic. I don't know if it says where it is.
Well, yeah, it's probably can't name drop.
Okay,
'cause-
Colorado. Oh shit, Tim,
Okay.
look out.
Sorry, Tim.
The recent cluster of human cases connected to poultry farms in Colorado. So it is jumping from poultry to humans, as well as I think cow farms are now getting it, and like it's jumping from there. But it's like,
So it's a
LOL.
deadly strain of flu.
yeah,
Didn't we
it's
already deal with this shit like fucking 15 years ago?
not. Yeah, that's the thing about like. So bird flu, it's one of those things that comes back around. I feel like ever since I was in high school, I remember like, you got to look out for bird flu this year, and then
And mad cow disease.
H1N1. You remember that? The pig flu? Huh? They had to like murder a lot of pigs during that. That was like when I was a senior in high school, I think. Ebola, that comes back around every now and then. That was really big.
That was during Obama's tenure.
Yeah, that was like
Because like 2 people died and they were like, you should resign.
not just
and then,
that.
like-
Like he was like okay.
And then
They
COVID
did-
happens and like millions of people died. And it was like, no, it's fake news.
Yeah, well, Ebola was Ebola to me. Honestly, Ebola was way more terrifying. Like your skin fucking melted off. Okay,
Sure.
There was like a 90% mortality rate, and then they were like, and it's highly contagious, right? To the point like you get a small cut in your suit while you're dealing with somebody Ebola, you got
Pretty
Ebola. Now.
sure that happened during The Walking Dead. During when
Yeah.
it was huge, right? Because people were like, "This is
Yeah,
bullshit,
dude, I
CDC,
was
baby."
I was working at my aunt's cafe and I was glued to the TV because I was fucking terrified. I was like, "This is gonna come to," and like, and then every day it was
really,
like,
you're-
"Oh, he brought the patient back home and they're working on him somewhere in the U.S." And I'm like, "Why
And
the
you're like,
fuck
"Don't
would
do
you
that."
bring that here? Like, why would you even bring it to the shores?" Because I think it happened like to an American citizen, like he was overseas or whatever. They're like, I think
But he was in
helping-
Atlanta.
I think that he was helping the Ebola epidemic, got Ebola, then they flew him back, and like they moved him like several places. While
Well, I know that at one point he was in Atlanta because that was where the CDC was, and we're just like, "It's The Walking Dead." Oh my god!
yeah, it's fucking goddamn, dude. It was a terrifying time
It
to be alive.
is a terrifying time to just like live as a human being.
Yeah, and that's-
Like, it's
and
just so much.
And again, it's like we were talking about a few episodes ago, where obviously, everybody's thinking of these things in the same, like in the now frame of reference, right? And obviously, like things were bad during the Cold War era, right? We had to worry about nuclear bombs being dropped, but it does feel like our entire lives have been nothing but something else to worry about, like something else big coming down the pipeline.
The meme that goes around a lot is, it's like 0 days since the last monumental historical event
Yeah.
occurred. It was just like, I'm so tired of just like every week there's just a new a history book page in high school that's being written in my life.
And what's crazy is that like you can see it being written too. Like you can see the headlines. You can see like, oh yeah, this is what they're going to talk about in like 20 years in history class, right? Or in 30 years in history class. It'll be like,
And then like yeah,
look at it, like,
it's-
because I know, okay, it's not. I'm not being political about it, but January
can't-
6th was like a big deal, and like whenever it was happening, you could fucking see.
depends on who's writing the history book.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like there's gonna be two different history books written about it. It's like one's gonna be like the Patriots that try to save our country, and the other one's gonna be like I don't know, the small insurrection that happened where they literally almost like tried to hang a vice president and as well as like I don't know,
It's not
murder
true,
everybody in the.
bro.
Hey,
Projection,
I know,
hearsay.
I know. I'm projecting, and I'm also like I'm putting words in their mouth.
You're
Even though they said the words and they had the posters and the signs and like the dolls that they had hanging or whatever, I know that I'm just making it up and putting
I
those
just
words
feel
in their
like there's
mouth.
a really good bit somewhere, and I'm sure it's been done where like, you know, you take it and it's just like they said they were gonna kill this person. Well, who said that? Well, Steve said it. When did he say it? And it's just like there's a
It
picture,
feels
there's
like
a
the
video of
Django.
him riding it, right? And it's just like that's not him. That's a body double, and it's just like under oath.
Dude,
Steve's like, I did it. And it's like, see, you changed his name. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, that's my legal name. I went by a different name. And it's just like, no, they brainwashed him. This is bullshit. And it's just like, like
that's
there is no amount of truth or like
we've
of
talked about it like
anything.
we've talked about it for the past like 3 days now, man. And it's like it literally we have reached one of if I'm allowed to say one of the dumbest periods in history in human history. We I feel like are the dumbest that we've ever been, where it's like,
You know,
and I'm not
I
smart,
just,
I'll say it, I'm not smart, but
you know, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer, you could have asked me, not, this is not going down a political thing, but it sort of ties into it. But it's like you wonder, like, what happened to common sense? How are people gullible, this gullible? How are people falling for this? Yada yada yada. But then it's just like, oh, there's the Jamestown stuff, and then like there's Charles Manson, and like all these people, and it's like, how, like how
it's Jonestown, bro. It's fine. I don't mean to
what I
get small
say?
correct. You said Jamestown. It's Jonestown. I mean, it's a common mistake to make. It's fine. It's okay. Just wanna
Tomato
clarify.
tomato. I'm sure there's a Jamestown somewhere.
Yeah, but it's like that sounds like it's just a cool place you go to learn about like R&B or something like that. Like
Is it
Jonestown is like where you go to like have 900 people commit suicide together. But I mean, hey,
right? Anyways, I mean,
but yeah, I
what's
get
the,
what you're saying. Like, yeah,
what's the difference between Jonestown and a theological building? And there's not one. Anyways, the whole point.
you said it, not me. You said it, not me. It's whatever.
Anyways, the whole point is that it's like I would get so mad and so angry at like how people would just like, it's like, dude, like it takes an ounce of common sense to know this is not true.
That's like,
And like, but then now, living in the time that we're sort of skating around, it's like I get it. Like,
you wanna
like I get it.
my theory on this, and I'm gonna stick by this till the day I die, is that I know where the turning point started, right? Where America really lost its way, right?
Oh,
And
this will be
that's
fun.
and I've thought about it long and hard for a long time, but I know exactly where America, like not even just America, like humans lost their way,
Okay.
and that was the start and the believing of flat Earth theory. That is when I can correlate conspiracy theories really dove off the deep end. People really dove off the deep end, and it was like as the number of people that believed in flat Earth grew, the
Okay.
fucking dumber we became, and the dumber the conspiracies came. And it's just like at that point, that's where if you're looking at a chart, it falls. It starts to go down.
Let me add my rebuke to that.
Okay, hit me with it.
I personally believe that there is not a single person on earth who believes that it's flat. They do it for clout and they do it for attention. I don't think that anyone actually believes that.
I would 100% love
I
to
think
believe
that
that.
I think that people are a lot like you, and they will lean heavily into a bit because they think it's funny, because they're like, "Oh, I'm getting them. Look at this fucking long con that I'm doing." And then they just like become the gimmick. But I don't think that I don't think people actually think
That's
that
like,
it's flat.
dude.
I mean, maybe, I'm sure that is a blanket
s-
statement. I'm sure there are people who believe it, but I don't think that theory that there are thousands and thousands and millions of people that believe, I don't think that that's that many. I think it is a very, very, very loud minority of people, and it has become a meme at this point. And so people like you will it interject with a joke like, yeah, well, the Earth is flat, meh. And then like they do it tongue in cheek, but then you also have dumb people who don't know how to comprehend a joke, or they don't understand a certain specific type of humor or the meta-ness of it all. And I think it's just extrapolated and become bigger than it actually is. I could be way off base. My own
Now,
personal belief is that I don't think there's that many people who believe it.
I
Maybe they do.
will. I'll level with you some that you're probably right that it is like a very large minor. It's a very small minority of people that are very loud that believe it, and then like you said, like people are playing in on the bit. But the problem is like I do think that there still are a lot more people than there should be who believe that the Earth
But
is
what's the
flat.
average age of the flat earther?
Dude,
Sub
that's the
25,
problem.
right?
I don't mean to say dude a lot. I feel like I've said dude a lot, but like, man, that's the problem is that like it spans all ages.
Does it?
It does because
feel-
it's so sad. The saddest clip and slash the funniest clip I've ever seen is whenever this team of flat earthers got together and they spent a lot of money, like upwards of like 20, 30, 40,000 to get this device that can measure like basically measure micro movements in the earth, right? And it was like they used it, they spent all this money, right? And they were like, okay, this is the time, this is how we're gonna teach these round earthers a fucking lesson here. And they fired at the machine and they began using it. They immediately found out that the earth was round, right? And there was like,
Oh, you mean there's a curvature to
yeah,
it?
not just that. Like there was another video where like they were holding up. So like it's the whole thing where like if the Earth is round, if you held a piece of paper so many hundreds of yards away and you shined a light, it would shine on the paper. You wouldn't be able to like see it, or it would have like a crescent or something in nature, somewhere around there. And like they're doing the experiment, and the guy's like, all right, shine the light. And he's like, I am shining the light. It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
You just hear, and it's like, but it's, man, it is. I do think that the people starting to believe in the flat Earth and us not immediately going, hey buddy, that's way too far off base for conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories are a realm of like having fun and poking fun at the government, and you're taking it to a level in which like you're flat out just ignoring the science and the studies and saying it's all fake, and like that does a lot of damage to like everybody, because then the whole distrust thing happens. So like, that's what I believe that I still believe that like the flat earthers is where we lost our way. And because they spawned the vaccine, the anti-vax movement, and that snowballed into like January 6th. You could draw a graph, buddy, and it's there. It's all
There's
correlating. Yeah.
So, just a quick update before we leave here.
Okay.
It is Wizards of the Coast.
I still think
Okay.
West Coast Wizards, shout out. You should do it. I'm just saying.
So, here's the problem with, I was going to name this episode the West Coast Wizards.
Oh, damn.
We still might, but there is a Facebook account that is
Ah.
tied to this guy called the West Coast Wizard, and he has a YouTube channel. And it looks like the ramblings of an old man. And
Shouts
he's
out to
pretty
West
active.
Coast Wizard, I guess. Damn.
I kind of want to watch this. He's got a really cool like ZZ Top beard.
Look at him now.
He uploaded a video 3 days ago.
Damn, dude.
He has 5,000 followers. I mean, bro,
The West Coast Wizard, man. Like, shouts out. Like, I'd say, hell, I don't
Axel
know.
Axel
I just-
Vasa, right? Is
I
his
hope
name?
that he's not like saying some racist shit or something like
He
that.
has a TikTok. The
Oh,
real
he's-
West Coast Wizard.
I don't think, is he religious? He's got like a shirt with some.
Yeah, it seems
looks-
like he is. Something about lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord. Amen. So,
Okay.
I think we should take it
Hey,
and turn it into our concept, because that sounds infinitely more interesting than.
still
Let's
small
just do-
shouts out to this guy. Hopefully he's not like a
Let's
super
just do a
racist
whole-
or pedophile. But hey, you know,
Let's do a whole. Oh God, I fucking lost. I was gonna say let's do a whole Sierra Mist thing.
yeah,
But we just take it.
not just
We
that,
just-
and like we just pretend that we've had it the entire time.
Well,
we
we're
just-
implicated. We're implicated now.
Nah, we'll cut all this out. We'll cut all this out. It's fine.